So we just take it together. 1, 2, go. Arise, O compatriot, Nigeria's call obey to serve with love and strength and faith. The name of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation proudly freedom is our unity. Thank you very much, the mass choir of the Nigeria Independent. Thank you very much. Put your hands together for yourselves. Yes. I know I welcomed those earlier on, but I'd like to invite somebody very special because of our time. We promise not to take much of your time, but we're going to make sure that the little time you're going to spend with us is going to be very impactful, very engaging. And for those that are just coming in and wondering who is this guy speaking, I am Motolori Kehinde Peter, popularly known as Kenny Black. I just got back from traffic and yeah, it's 20 minutes. So I'm honored to be here. Please let me look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, we need to shake this place. Do we reduce the AC or we are okay? Are we fine? No, let us talk. Those of us from the mainland, we know when it's too much, let's just stay our mind. Should we reduce the AC or we are good? We are good. All in favor, say aye. The ayes have it. Yeah, I have it. You understand? So I'm Motolori Kehinde Peter, popularly known as Kenny Black. I want us to look at our neighbor and say, neighbor. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor. Look at your neighbor one more time. Say, neighbor. What happened to me will happen to you. Ask your neighbor, what happened to you? I hope you are not owing people. Now that I have your attention on this note, I'd like to welcome for the opening remarks and to welcome us officially to Advantage. Please help me welcome Mr. Femi Johnson. A round of applause for Femi Johnson, ladies and gentlemen, for the opening remarks. Yes, sir. The last time I saw you, you were not this tall, but 1-1.
Good morning, colleagues, distinguished ladies, gentlemen of the press, if they are here. I was going to greet our royal fathers and elders in the house and all that, but I don't see people like that yet. I'd like to warmly welcome you all. We don't take it for granted. We have a full room, especially with this economy we are in now. 24 hours never seems to be enough for anybody. We're all hustling. But you've all taken time out of your extremely busy schedules to come and spend time with us this morning as we unveil this epoch-making app and technology for the market. So I'm here just to introduce what iVantage is. iVantage is a fintech firm. For some of us that may not know what a fintech firm is, fintech in itself is just a combination of two words, financial and technology. Right? So fintech is that combo of using software technology, of using other forms of technology, computer softwares and all of that, to enable transactions, financial transactions. That's what it is. What it does is it brings in ease to the market, right? In accessibility to the market, it brings in cost savings to the market, and it sort of democratizes loans, lending, and accessibility. When I say it brings in cost savings, it's been proven that using fintech can enable us have about 1/10 in terms of costs that the traditional methods of banking. iVantage has sort of positioned to take advantage of this need in the market, right? To deliver tailor-made, cutting-edge technological services to the financial services industry. Now, the niche that iVantage has chosen to start playing in is the mortgage banking, the microfinance banks niche, sort of, in the banking arena. And as we all know, these banks are not as big as the commercial banks. So iVantage is helping them scale up, helping them compete, helping them provide access to their own teaming customers to enable them serve their customers the way that they need to be served in this digital age that we're increasingly getting into, right? If we all know the population and demography of Nigeria today, right? I don't know if anybody knows that. Nigeria today, I think, is estimated at 218.5 million people, right? Of these 218.5 million people, we are told that about 97.5% of these people are 64 years and below. So that means that they are still in the working class, if you permit me to use that term, right? And we need to serve all of these people. Now, the average age of Nigerians today is 18 years old, meaning that the average Nigerian, we are not the average Nigerian, meaning that the average Nigerian may never step into a banking hall in the next few years. So that's the direction that the market is going, right? If you take 0 to 30 years in Nigeria today, they're about 70% of the country. These are people that are technologically, these are people that like ease and convenience, not just the millennials, the Gen Zs, and the ones behind them, right? That's the future of Nigeria. So I don't know if we all know the largest bank in Nigeria today. But the largest bank in Nigeria today, I don't want to mention names, they just released their numbers, right? And 85% of their profits came from digital channels and foreign subsidiaries. So the over 500 or more branches that they have, the traditional method of banking, only gave them about 15% of their revenue. Imagine if they didn't go digital. So that's sort of the direction, and that's the niche that iVantage has seen, and is trying to enable banks playing, especially the mortgage banks and the microfinance bank. Now, another unique thing about iVantage, so beyond, and my colleague will come and talk about what iVantage, what the technology does. But beyond all of that, the unique combo that iVantage also has is we see the housing shortfall, right? And people call different numbers, whether it's 17 million, whether it's 20 million, Nigeria has had a growing population over the years. This 17 million number has been there maybe for over 10 years, right? So, but whatever we all can agree is we have a housing shortfall. We don't have adequate housing in Nigeria. We need to fill the gap. Now, what has happened is a lot of developers are building, obviously not enough, right? Because our population grows by 2.5% every year. However, the ones that they build, it's not easy to connect the people that want them to these units, right? There are loads of Nigerians in diaspora that want to invest in Nigeria, that want to buy homes back here and rent out, that want to buy homes that they will come and stay in whenever they are in town. They don't have access until they come down physically and start to drive all around the country to visit houses. They don't have that sort of access. iVantage is trying to enable people like that. If I wanted to buy a house today in Abuja, I'd have to fly to Abuja or drive to Abuja to go and look at it. iVantage would put all of these things on your palm, on your phone, such that from where you are, you can see the pictures of these houses, you can do a virtual walkthrough, you can see the 3D images, and you can pick and choose houses. Ultimately, eventually, what you'll be able to find on the platform are even things like what property values are in that area, comparative prices. You would find what rental values are in that area. You will find maybe the status of the documentation of that property, whether it has good title and all of that. So there's a lot that iVantage plans to introduce into the market over time, right? So this would enable developers as well. It will help them quickly offload their stocks, and then they can quickly move on to do more and more. Because again, the faster you sell, the more you can build. So there are going to be solutions on iVantage, or there is solution on iVantage to take care of developers as well, not just lenders. So that's the unique combo that iVantage is bringing to bear. But again, just so we understand where things are. In October, this last month of October, right? The financial transactions in Nigeria totaled 37 trillion. Of that 37 trillion, 36.75 trillion were done electronically. Only 255 million were done by checks. So we're already almost there. Nobody writes checks anymore. Everything is being done online. And we all carry mobile phones. As of 2020, when our population in Nigeria was estimated at 206 million, right? There were 204 million telephone lines in Nigeria. Meaning that it's almost getting to one-to-one. We know it's not everyone that has, right? But it's almost getting to one-to-one. So that's the direction, that's the niche that iVantage has decided to play. That's the gap that iVantage saw in the market, and that's the gap that we are taking advantage of, right? Now, of those 204 million mobile lines, today, only about 40 million are smartphones. And to do a lot of these things, we know that we require smartphones, not just a working mobile line. But it's also estimated, based on the growth trajectory, that within the next 2 to 3 years, there's going to be 140 million smartphones in use. As technology improves, as there's accessibility, as they get cheaper, right, more and more people, and as education improves, people are going to move on to it. So whether we like it or not, this product, this service, this technology is what is required in our market today, and it could not come at a better time. So again, I want to warmly welcome you all to this epoch-making event. Thank you very much for spending your time with us this morning. And I'll let my colleagues come and do the rest. Thank you very much. Kenny Black, over to you.
Thank you. Can we give him a round of applause one more time? And I know that you might have forgotten, but I think the first time we met was on a flight. I was going to London, not Osaka, London, the real one. And and it was like, Kenny Black, what's the difference between our airport and the airport? You do everything is fine. And I'm like, I think the airport, the difference is the people. Because when you land London, especially Heathrow Airport, the way they welcome you is like, good evening, sir. Are you going to Manchester? I say, yes. Follow me, please. I'm like, why did they beg us? Why are they putting please we're already in London? But at our own, I don't know if everybody is angry. Because from outside, just hear one. If you're not traveling, go back. If you are not traveling, go back. And the sweetest part of everything is the way I said I will never fly with him again because he was in business class, I was in economy minding my business. And yes, and this was exactly what happened. The way they welcome business class and the way they welcome economy in all airlines is the same thing. Business class, this is where they welcome you. Business class, seat number 1A, sit down here. We economy 62B. Your guy move back, people are behind you. Especially even the way they announce flights. In London, the way they announce flights, even if you're not going to London, you will enter that flight. We just hear, bing, bing, attention, please. All passengers on British, and the voice comes with echo. All passengers on British Airways to Lagos should please proceed for boarding, 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 boarding. And you see all of us carrying our bag, boarding, 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 boarding. So I don't know who is at MM2. Is that is the girl or the microphone or the speaker? We know the year waiting that they talk. Because of English, you now mess up the English. What we hear in MM2 is intention, please. Intention to do what? What is your intention in life? You hear all passengers on so airline, you then a Chisco bus outside plane don't fool. How did I play 17.5? The annoying part is this part. The pilot, sir, do you remember that I said to you that when we enter this flight, we will not hear what the pilot will say, but we will land. When that plane takes off and the seatbelt sign is off, in all airlines, this is what you hear. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, this is your pilot speaking. Forward, taking us to Lagos. Forward, we're flying to Lagos. Altitude. Forward. We don't know, but we're flying to. Everybody's going to Lagos. Enugu. All of us in the plane will be like this. If you fly Ethiopia Airways, they don't speak English. You just hear, Kuburat Mangari. What is Kubura in you? Where are we going to? And this is the annoying part of all pilots. You just hear, we'll be landing at about. So you know no road. and you carry us. So it's good to see you again, Morga. And I've grown taller, just a little bit, just a little bit. We have some very distinguished guests in our midst. We'll try as much as possible to recognize everyone. And for those of us just coming in, the person who just finished speaking is the MD, Home-Based Mortgage Bank and Director Ivantage, Mr. Femi Johnson. Can we please give him a round of applause? Thank you so much. Also in our midst, very distinguished guests, we have the Executive Secretary Mortgage Banking Association of Nigeria, Mr. Kayode Omotosho. Can we give a round of applause? Thank you so much, sir. People say we look alike, but we'll talk about that later. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the MD Nigeria Mortgage Refinance Company, Mr. Kende. Can we give Mr. Kende a round of applause? Thank you so much, sir. Also have the MD Dillon Construction, Mr. Gary. Round of applause for Mr. Gary. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have in our midst the MD Abe Mortgage Bank, Bolaji Adeomi. Round of applause. Also, we have Otumba Olumide, the chairman, Megamo. A round of applause for Otumba Olumide. Thank you so much for taking our time to be here. And we have some of our very distinguished guests here also, all the way from Infinity Trust Mortgage. We have Olatoye Omilabu. A round of applause for Olatoye Omilabu. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Also, we have from Atkan Group, Eniola Bibilari. A round of applause. Thank you so much. From MBAN, we have the MDC, we have the CEO, Kayode Omotosho. A round of applause, yes. Well, we also have Banji Ali Bolaji. Oh my God, pronounced Ali Balogun. Yeah. Please give me the MD Bolaji. Boban. Please a round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Aha. Also in the house, we have Ifeanyi Gideon. I'm not from Nigeria. I'm half caste. I'm from Ogun State. So my mom is Yoruba. Dad is Igbo. We're half caste. So for me, please, I would like you to correct me if I do not pronounce your name well, so that it doesn't affect my balance. Please, it's very, very important that I get your name well, so that I'll be at your next event. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I have in the house Sholapo Bada. A round of applause for Sholapo Bada, ladies and gentlemen. We also have Kende Paul in our midst. A round of applause for Mr. Kende Paul. Yes. We have a long list of very distinguished guests here. We have, I think I have already. We have Dayo Ogunsoya. A round of applause for Dayo Ogunsoya. All right. I think that's all we have for now. As much as our guests come in, we recognize them. We see our very distinguished guests on their way, and as soon as they get here, we will recognize them. At this point, very distinguished guests. I know most of us are waiting for us to get to the peak, to the highlight of this event, and I'm proud to tell you that we are getting there. At this point, I'd like to welcome for the presentation of iVantage product. Yes, this is where I would like us to please pay attention. And I know that we're doing that already. You would not want to miss any part of this presentation, because this is more of the reason why we're gathered here today. We have three people doing this presentation, but first on my list, please help me welcome Mrs. Lillian. A round of applause for Mrs. Lillian at this point. Please celebrate her. Put your hands together for her. She just got back from her seat. Yes. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, distinguished gentlemen and ladies. I'm standing on existing protocol. I would like to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedule, just like my boss has said, from your busy schedule to meet with us today. We know you have some other places you would have loved to be, but for you to honor us here, we say thank you so very much. So I would like to just give you a brief rundown on what iVantage is all about. You know the way we usually do real estate transactions, you wait for clients to come to you, your property is in the market for so long. We just thought about the bottlenecks that most developers face, and also mortgage banks in concluding their transactions and in more or less increasing their sales volume. And we made an extensive research on it, and we found out that, okay, there is a need for us to come in and align the end users to the property developers and the mortgage bank in finance companies. So we came up with this a couple of products that we're going to launch today, which are basically things that will ease your mode of working, will increase productivity, is more efficient than what you are used to, and is very innovative. You have a situation whereby a property developer can at ease sell his properties with people in diaspora reaching out to them. And the beauty of the whole package is that most of the properties, all the properties we have on our site are all verified. So in other words, someone in diaspora can actually just come up, click on the property with the secured mindset that, okay, this property has already been verified. This particular company they've taken the pains to actually go to lands and do all the necessary due diligence and ensure that, okay, this property is free of all encumbrances, and put it up for them to see. And eventually, imagine if I am somebody in diaspora and I still have such an opportunity. That's a very big bottleneck for them. In most cases, they are faced with situation whereby they've been defrauded. They've gone through a lot, even despite the fact that they try to do whatever seg they can, either the agents they are working with defrauded them, or even the developer is not even in existence. So we tried to, like I said, we did an extensive research on how best to more like align the end users to the properties, the properties that have already been developed. And in the aspect of the mortgage banks, we've created some mobile solutions that will assist you to have your data intact, for each individual to be able to see where their statement is, at what level their repayment status is on, and also to give the end users or the clients that want to purchase the opportunity to have options of mortgage banks to more like partner with and conclude the transactions. So I will call on is she there? My delectable colleague, Modele. She's the Chief Strategy Officer of iVantage. I'll call on her to more or less take us into the insight of what this product or solution is going to provide for you, and how it's going to be effective in making your transactions go sell out real good, and also to increase your sales volume in the aspect of the developer. So I call on Modele Ajayi Bembe.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Modele Ajayi Bembe, and I lead the strategy team at iVantage. Today, we'll be taking you through some of the innovative products that we've designed for mortgage banks and for real estate developers. Starting with our flagship products, which we're launching for Imperial Homes today. It's our mobile banking and property app that has been designed specifically for mortgage banks to allow their customers bank with ease from the comfort of their homes, to view available properties, to save towards those properties, and then to start the mortgage process. So for the mortgage banks that we deploy this solution for, we would white label it and customize it to their colors, their preferred name, and their logo. And their customers will be able to download it from the Google Play Store or the iOS Store. Once they download it, they'll be required to create a profile to come on board. For their customers that don't have a bank account, they have the option of opening a bank account on the application, seamlessly on the application. To open an account, they'll put in their personal details, upload KYC documents, verify their phone number and email with an OTP code, and they'll be onboarded on the app successfully. So the application has 4 modules. We have the mobile banking module, the property module, the investment module, and the mortgage module. Starting with the mobile banking module, this section allows customers perform banking services. At the top, we can see the customer's balance. Customers would also be able to conduct transfers. They can conduct transfers to their own accounts, to other accounts within the mortgage bank, to other banks, and they're also going to be able to manage their beneficiaries. There's also the payment feature that allows the customers purchase airtime and pay for bills. We also have the feature of viewing your transaction history for recent transactions, You can filter through these transactions as well. You can view details of your account manager as well. You can get their email and phone number. Can we go back to that screen, please? There's also the option of filling a complaint and inquiry form if you want to make a complaint. There's also the feature to download your bank statements. So you will select your date range and click on download statements. And then for mortgage banks that issue cards to their customers, they have the feature for their customers to request cards and to block their cards in the event that they need to. We also have the investments module on the application. So this module is where customers can manage their fixed deposits in real time. So they can, sorry, can we go back to the previous screen? They can view details of their fixed deposits, the maturity amount, the maturity dates, and the interest rates on those fixed deposit placements. They can also book a new investment by filling this form. They can select the tenor of the fixed deposits and they can book the investments. If they want to add to an existing fixed deposit as well, they can do that by filling this. And if they want to do a liquidation, either full liquidation or partial liquidation, they can do that as well on the application. So that's it for the investment section. Then we have the exciting part of the application, which is the property section. So this section is populated with over 22,000 properties that have been pre-qualified. And when I say pre-qualified, I mean that we've conducted title searches on these properties, and we've also done charting on them to make sure that their coordinates are in the right points. So customers can browse through these properties. They can also filter their search to filter based on a particular state, area, a particular property type. So if they want a bungalow, a terrace, an apartment, they can also filter based on number of bedrooms and minimum and maximum price. And so once they conduct their search, they can view details of the property. So for example, this is a Lekki home property that is going for 32.5 million. And it has some key features: 24 hours supply of power and water. There's a pool area. There's also a kids play area. The title of the property is also displayed, which is a C of O, and the building plan is also available on this particular property. The customer also has the option to lock down. So when we say lock down, what we mean is the customer is signifying interest in buying the property. For properties that are not completed yet, they're off plan, the customers can also view milestone updates of the different stages of the construction stage of the property. And then we have the feature of requesting for inspection. So if the customer wants to view the property they're interested in, they can request for an inspection to be scheduled with the property team. And then if the customer likes what they've seen, they can go on and want to purchase the property. They can choose to buy via a mortgage, and then they'll be required to fill this mortgage form with their personal details, information about their income. They would also be required to put in their bank information about their bank. This would allow the mortgage banks to spool and analyze bank statements directly from the institution the customer banks with. The customer would also be required to upload their CV. This is to give the mortgage bank a better understanding of the profile of the borrower. And then the mortgage request will be received by the mortgage bank. We also have another feature that allows customers that don't have their equity contribution saved. There's an option for them to save towards their equity contribution. And to do that, they can do that either one-off or with the auto-save feature. Can we go back to the previous screen, please? So the auto-save feature allows customers to sort of put in a direct debit on their card to save periodically towards their equity contribution. They have the option of choosing their frequency. So they can choose to save daily, weekly, or monthly. And then they will select the effective start date, put in their card details, and then their saving begins. We also have the affordability calculator feature. So this will allow the borrower to assess how much loan they can afford from the mortgage bank. So they will put in information about their income, if they're borrowing with if they want a co-borrowing mortgage with a partner. They would also put in their age to determine the tenor that can be accorded to them. They will put in the down payments they have saved already, and if they have any other existing loan obligation, they'll be required to put in that information. and the calculator would display a result that shows the maximum property that the user can afford, what their monthly repayment is likely to be, the interest rates, and the tenor. And then based on that, the properties that the user can afford will be displayed. And then we have the mortgage section, which for existing customers of the mortgage banks that have existing mortgages, the card on top would show the customer the details of their existing mortgage. So their outstanding balance, their next repayment date, their interest rates, and the next repayment amount. For those that don't have existing mortgages, they can start the process as well by clicking on new mortgage as well. We also have the feature to can we go back to the previous screen, please? We also have the feature of tracking applications. So for a customer that starts the mortgage application, they can track it from here as well to see the progress of the application, and then they can check their credit score as well. And then finally, we have the more section. The more section is where the user can manage information about their profile. They can change their password, change their transaction PIN, turn off autosave if they choose to, and view frequently asked questions. So that is pretty much it for our mobile banking application. We're really excited about it. We believe that it will be solving, adding a lot of value to the mortgage industry and to the real estate industry as well. For customers that choose not to download the mobile application, we also have a web application, which is the internet banking solution that would also be deployed to mortgage banks. And I'll be taking us through that as well. Can we have the screen for that, please? Okay, so this application is available to both personal and corporate customers of the mortgage bank. They'll be required to register for internet banking by putting in their details, setting their security question. They would also be required to set a transaction PIN to complete transactions, and they will be set to log in.
All right. Your Excellencies, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like us to please be upstanding. Okay, not now. Okay, please. In a few minutes, we'll be having His Imperial Majesty in. I'm sorry to cut you, my sister. Yes, we're expecting our Imperial Majesty, but before it comes in, I'd like to recognize the presence of the CEO Uraga Moyo Ogunseinde. Please, a round of applause. Thank you so much. Also, we have the chairman Ago, Admiral Fola Makale. Please, a round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. I love this name. I'd like to recognize the presence of Tunde Balogun, CEO, Small Tech. A round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I'd like us to please give a standing ovation as we recognize and welcome His Imperial Majesty, the traditional ruler and monarch of Yoruba Kingdom, Ile-Ife, Ba Adeyeye Enitogun Jaja II, the Oni of Ife, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like us to please welcome me by saying Kabiyesio. Thank you so much. Can we have our seat, very distinguished guests? Yes. So, why Kabiyesi? Kabiyesi, where you were coming in, we were discussing about, we're talking about our iVantage app and how it works. And I'm happy that you've not missed much. You're coming at the right time exactly to witness this presentation. And I'd like to bring back Lillian for. Lillian, are we good? Yeah, I'd like to bring back Lillian for the rest of the presentation. Thank you. I think we have modeling now. Lillian is off. Thank you so much. Modeling, please kindly go on. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'll just continue where I left off. So I was speaking about the internet banking application for customers that prefer not to download the mobile app. So they'll be required to register and log in. Once they log in, we have their dashboard. From the dashboard, the customers can view the different accounts they have with the mortgage banks, their current accounts, fixed deposit accounts, and their mortgage account as well. We have the My Account section where customers can view more details about the different accounts they have with the mortgage banks. We also have the transaction history. We also have the transfer section. Can we go to we have transfer section. So customers can also conduct the different types of transfers on this solution as well. So transfers to their own account, to other accounts within the same bank, and to other banks. They can also manage their beneficiary as well. So these features are available both on the mobile app and on the web application. They can view their transaction history. They can choose to download their bank statements after they select the date range. They can make bill payments as well for airtime and for utility payments. Yeah, they can pay bills as well. And then for card management as well, for mortgage banks that issue cards to their customers, they can manage their card management on the application as well. So they can request a debit card or block their debit cards. And then finally, we have the self-service section for customers to manage their details on the application. They can choose to update their address or phone number. They can change their transaction PIN, change their security questions, and view their account officer's details as well. And so for corporate customers also have access to the application. They would also be required to register. Once they register, they would have to assign roles to each user that interfaces with the application. So there's the initiator role, there's the approver role, and then there's the reviewer role. So once that has been assigned, they're set up to log in. They will log in with their access code and they'll be taken to their dashboard. So they also have the same features. They have the My Account section. They can also conduct all the different types of transfers. But specific to corporate customers, they can perform bulk uploads. So they'll be required to select the account they want to debit from and then upload the payment file to initiate the bulk upload. They can also review the transactions before they approve them individually, and then they can submit to the signatory for approval. Once the signatory logs in as well with their credentials, they can view the transactions that have been submitted for approval. They can select the ones they want to approve, and they can proceed with approving. We also have the transaction receipts to view all the. They can also download all the transaction receipts for the transactions they have approved. We also have the feature for remitter payments. So you can either conduct a single remitter payment or a bulk remitter payment. To complete that, they'll be required to put in the RRR code for remitter and submit. And there's also the bank statement feature for the customers to select their date range and download their bank statement. And then finally, we have the report section where they can view the different types of reports available. So there's the transactions reports, the approval reports, the remitter reports, and then the batch status reports. And then lastly, we have self-services as well for this application. And then for the operations team that are going to be managing the application on behalf of the mortgage bank, there's an admin portal where they can manage all the activities that happens on the application and manage the users as well. So this is what the admin portal looks like. So that is it for our mobile banking and internet banking solution. I'll be handing over to my colleague to take us through the applications for our developers. Thank you very much. We'll take questions after the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Modele. Good morning, everybody. I'm Omolola Shonowo. KBACO, good morning, sir. All protocols observed. So this is a solution we're very excited to present to you. We're aware in iVantage that the real estate industry is made up of more than the mortgage banks. So we've designed this thinking about our developers. And we're happy to see a couple in the room. We have Revolution Plus, we have Mega Mound, and we have Boban. Apologies if I haven't captured a developer in this room. So we have the iVantage developer solution. Go ahead. Okay, so with every solution, the first thing you do is to create your profile. And what this does for you is to have access. So this is specifically to help developers meet the needs of clients everywhere around the world, in Nigeria, in diaspora, and everywhere. So what you do as a developer is to subscribe to this. After it has been subscribed, you've paid for it and subscribed to it, it will be white labeled for you, specifically for you. So all the properties in this solution will be properties you have developed, either those you're developing currently or those you've previously developed. However you want it to look is how it's going to look. So what we have here is the basic features for you to follow through with us. So after you've created your profile as a developer, your customers will be able to download this on their iOS devices or their Android devices. Your customer will create profile with all details, phone number, email address, and all that is required. As usual, the security feature of verifying, getting an OTP to verify and enter into the app. When you've entered successfully, we will help you start your journey towards home ownership. So this is the property section where our developers' properties will be listed. Whatever properties you want to list will be here. So if, for instance, a customer sees a property he wants to invest in, customer will click on that property, will take one. Yeah, you can browse property, you have your minimum value, minimum amount, maximum amount, number of bedrooms, this. Okay, so we've gone with one property, Bridgeland. For instance, let's say, for instance, we're buying this property. You want to check the milestone updates. We have photos and videos of the property as is at that point in time. So whoever is your prospective client could request for inspection or check the milestone updates. Another beautiful feature of this solution is at the point of requesting for a milestone update, aside from pictures, we have the 4D videos for your clients in diaspora, considering the level of Japan and all of that, where people want to invest in Nigeria. So you have 4D videos where you could do a virtual tour of the property, especially if it's at one of the milestone stages where it's not completed. Your prospective client could do a 3D virtual tour. Then, okay, the client could also request for inspection. At the point of requesting for inspection, based on whatever you have set as the owner of the app, the inspection request goes to the staff, whoever you have assigned it to take it up and take the customer to visit the site. Okay, so at this point where the customer is happy, the customer can decide to buy or not to buy, and there are modes of payments. Either you're doing an outright purchase or an instrumental payment. So at the point where you click to pay, you have a provisional offer letter. The provisional offer letter states the features of the property, the legal fees, and all whatnot. The beauty of this part also is that for customers that want to go take a mortgage, they could use this to start the mortgage process even before settling on the property. At this point, you could start all that process, so it could shorten the timing. So at this point, we have also considered what EFCC needs. We know that EFCC disturbs our developers and asks for minimum requirements, which are the international passport, passport photograph, and the signature picture. So these are the 3 minimum documentation required that the customer could upload. So once the customer uploads it, the customer can also request for property documents. And we've listed a couple. We could also change this and include whatever you want us to include here. So these are the minimum documents you need to check as a customer to ensure that the property is free from encumbrances. Excuse me. Okay, so at this point, there could be a delay, but we want you to know that whoever has this app and logs in, wherever stage the customer gets to, can continue, take it up at any point in time, either 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because we understand that you have to do your due diligence. So you won't have to start afresh. So at the point the customer is fine and has completed due diligence, the customer will continue proceed. And at that point, a contract of sale will come up. So the contract of sale will be between the property developer and whoever it is that has registered as the owner of this account. The contract of sale will specify the total value of the property, the terms of payment, if the customer has agreed to pay in tranches, the dates, the amounts, it would all be listed, and all the other terms of the contract, which the customer has to accept the terms, then make payment. Okay, so this is an example of how it looks like. So we also built in a control feature, considering the fact that a lot of people have been scammed. And we know that people pass up properties they haven't developed as theirs. So considering that we need to secure your funds as a developer, and we need to secure the funds of whoever it is that is interested in investing in this property, you have the opportunity to attach your account as a developer to this app. So where the customer decides to pay through the app, the payment goes directly into whatever account you have attached to the app, either with Imperial Homes or any other mortgage bank or any commercial bank, to be specific. So that happens and payment is received in your bank account. So there's no story of someone sold me a false property and all of that, and no agents will go away with your money. Okay, so this is the feature for instrumental payments, how it works, how you decide on the terms and how many, the periods between your payments, the amount you would pay. Of course, you will be able to set as a developer the minimum initial deposit. It's not at will of the customer to decide that this is how much I'm going to pay. You as a developer will set it for each property you have on the app. So this is just an example. It goes through the same process for instrumental payment. You have your provisional offer letter, you have your document upload section, then your request for property documents, and then it goes on to your contract of sale. It goes through the same path as for outright payment. Okay, and then we have this feature that shows you a transaction history, which is your payment history as the holder of the account. This helps keep an audit trail, especially when people have decided to do the instrumental payment route. It has the history of everything you've paid and the dates you have paid. So there's no issue of, I paid this amount, but you haven't put it in my history. I can't trace it. Everything is done and tracked, and it can be downloaded by the person using the app and the admin of the app, which is the property developer. Go on. Okay, here's the statement that you can print, the statement section where you can decide the date range for the statement you want to print. And this is where you manage your account as the owner of the account, as a customer, where you want to change your password, change your PIN, take off your auto pay, Then you can also lodge inquiries and complaints through this place. You can also give us feedback on how you want to improve the solution. Then we have one function that we know is not what we want to face, but it might happen. The request, the refund, anything could happen. If someone can't complete payments, we have that feature. Request for a refund, the person selects and enters the reason, the amount, and the transaction PIN. This goes to the admin at the property developer's end. And of course, it's based on the terms and conditions. You'd contact the customer and arrange how you want to do. But this is a one-stop shop to purchase a property for for a developer by a customer. So we'll go through the admin side of this app. This is for the customer use, what we just went through. Now we'll go through the admin section. Okay, so as admin for the app, for instance, Revolution Plus decides to step on board and get this for the customers. As the admin, you have your dashboard, which shows you a one-off view of everything on the app, the total number of users, the properties you've uploaded, the inspection requests, the purchases you've made, and everything that's happened on the app. You see it here as a one view. Then you can go on to manage the properties you've uploaded on the app. This is where you get to add more photos, delete photos, remove properties that have been sold, change description, do what you want to do as the owner of the app. Then we go to the payment portal. This is where you manage your account that you've linked to the app. So whatever the customers are paying, it will go directly to the account you want it to go to. Then this is buyer management, is where you manage and treat customer complaints. It's also an audit tool where you'd use to check whatever has happened, whatever has gone wrong, whoever logged into the account. This is where you troubleshoot whatever issues your customer has. Then the profile of the account is where you profile people onto the admin portion, because you can have more than one admin. So it's where you assign rights and responsibilities to members of your team so that they would receive requests to inspect properties, requests for refund. This is the section where you get to manage that. Okay, so this is what we have for the property, for the developer's solution, and we'll be glad to take questions at the end of this. Then we have another solution. This one is for both mortgage banks and the developers. This we call our CS product, iVantage CS product. Okay, so how this works is it helps you as a mortgage bank to evaluate customers who need a facility. It's a one-stop shop. You don't have to call a meeting to do your initial evaluation of every customer. And it also helps you as a developer to also assess whoever is interested in your property. It helps you because if at any point in the future there's an investigation going on whoever you sold the property to, you'll be able to defend yourself and say, I did the minimum requirement as a responsible individual. I checked the customer, I checked his credit history, I analyzed him, I knew he could afford or she could afford the property. So that's a totality of what this solution does, but we'll go through it. So the first thing is to create an account, after which you can log in. Okay, so you add whoever it is you want to evaluate to this account. So, okay, accounts, this gives an overview of the total people you've evaluated using this solution. You can print reports, you can check everything you've done for each section. You can view PDF copies of what you have done. So when you want to evaluate, you start evaluation for a customer, you input the details, and you process. Okay, so the first step is to run a credit check, and the customer would have provided all the information you need to run the screen. The phone number, the email address, the BVN is very, very important. Then the customer will tell you if there's an existing loan, the amount, and you run your credit check. So based on whatever you have set on the back end, it will score the customer based on your own risk assessment matrices, which you will tell us and we will program for you. So after doing that credit check, this is still part of credit check where you put in the monthly income, additional income, then the tenor of the facility. Are you borrowing with a partner? All the details would also be imputed, and you still calculate. It calculates it for you. Okay, then we now do an affordability analysis. This is where you get to check that whoever is coming to buy this property really can afford the property. And it's not, this is where you get to ask questions as a developer. How do you intend to fund? Of course, just to show and to have a documented process if anybody is asking questions, where the customer provides all the information and you check, it calculates the maximum affordable amount, whatever the customer can afford. Also, it would attach a score based on what you have set as the owner, as the user. Then we have the bank statement analysis. The customer, you can select the bank, whatever bank, commercial, mortgage. So I forgot to mention this important feature of the app, of the solution, excuse me. The solution is linked to 2 credit bureaus. So the credit check you'll be running, you'll be getting a report directly from the credit bureaus, and it's linked to my bank statement. So when you're doing your bank statement analysis, the bank statement comes directly from the bank. You don't need to upload any information here. Once you have the bank name, the account number, and remember you already have the BVN of the customer. So once you click on calculate, it automatically links you to my bank statement. And my bank statement does an analysis of the customer history, the customer's income, expenses. You can see it at a glance, how the customer runs their account. And for instance, if there's something that you haven't been able to analyze from the credit check, you will see it in this bank statement analysis. And you have the ability to add more than one account to perform this analysis on. It's not limited to one account. You can do more than one for the same customer. It also attaches a score, and then you continue. So at the end of the day, you have an aggregate score. The aggregate score is based on your credit check, the affordability analysis, and the bank statement analysis. All this will be based on your risk tolerance as the person dealing with the customer. It will be set based on what you want. So you can download the analysis and you use this to perform more checks on the customer. And you can also view past analysis. For instance, you might have a customer that has come before and you have denied the person a loan. You could now check again the past analysis and you'll be able to see easily what changed, what happened, how this customer has moved on from a no to a yes. So you can easily compare at this point. Yeah, so you also have the admin portal. As someone that is managing this app, you can put people on the app. Here we have a super admin. The super admin is the one that adds people to it and manages whatever they have access to on this app. The people you'll be adding are your staff too, so that they can easily assess customers that come in. You don't have to do that 2 weeks wait before you tell the customer that, yes, we can grant you a loan. You could easily input all the data and you get your information, you get your answers before you progress with the customer. And of course, nothing can be deleted. It can only be archived because you need an audit trail of everybody that has been here. Thank you.
Okay, at this point, we'll be taking question, answers, and comments. I think we'll be taking table by table. So, do we have questions? We'll be glad to answer your questions. There's one question here. Okay, just if you have a question, immediately don't just signal to me so I can bring the microphone to you. Your name, sir, and your question, sir.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Prosper Emakwo. I'm representing the chairman of Dilo Group International, Mr. Dr. Oluwatosin Olatijoye. I have a question about this solution. Like you said, when companies buy into the app, they are whitelisted, and then the solution is customized for them. Now, as regard control, after we've been whitelisted, after all of those features have been done, and of course, there are other recommendations we would like to make as regards some of the features that we see here, because there are other things that may be needed or the other things that we have that are not yet available on the system. I'm sure those can be added to, right?
Yes.
But then in terms of control, after you've done the development, are all of these things handed over back to us completely?
Yes, it sits on your server.
So in terms of access, by the time you hand it over to us, does your firm still have access to any of the data?
No, the only thing we manage for you is the property section. So if you remember from my presentation, the mobile banking app has a property section. So we populate that property section with properties that are available for sale. So all we have access to is the database that feeds into the application to populate the properties.
So yes, that was exactly what I wanted to address.
Yeah.
So as a business, we are constantly uploading new products, we are constantly developing new products.
Correct.
We always try to avoid situations where it looks like we've outsourced our solutions and then have to run after developers or our programmers to make changes to our products.
Mm-hmm.
We believe that we have the capacity to hire experienced and within our business to handle all of these things for us.
Okay, so you're a property developer, correct?
I'm representing Dr. Oluwatosin Olatijoye of
Right.
Dilo
So
Group
for the
International.
property app, yes, the property app would only be said with your properties. So you would manage that.
Same thing for the investment app too.
Correct. Correct.
Right, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I think we still have one more on this table, then we'll move to the next table. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ajoke. I'm representing the MD of P1 Stars, Mr. Bamidele Adewale. All right, so my questions are not much, they're not really much. All right, I'm just asking, when we make sales like that, when we make property sales, there are times when there is, most of our sales are not direct sales.
Okay.
Like there is a third party, like maybe a sales agent. So how do we cater for the sales agent? For someone who has referred someone to use our app to buy a product from us, how do we sort them out? And the second question I have here is there any incentive for using this app, you understand, to purchase a property? Like the customers, do they have any incentive for using the app? Let's say a property is selling for an X amount. Is there a discount when we direct them to use the app? And third question I have here, the customer after making payment, is there a way they can generate receipts for the payments?
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, on the app, can you get all my questions? Can I answer the first three?
Can I answer the first three so I don't lose out? So the first question about when an agent sells, so we can incorporate a referral code for your particular application that will be deployed for you if you come on board, if your company comes on board, so that before you complete each sale, we would ask for a referral code that would have come from the agent so that you can tie each sale to the agents that originated the sale. The second question regarding
I'm asking if there's an
incentive. So that will be
yeah.
entirely up to the developer. If you want to offer a discount on your properties for customers that buy via the application, you can. I mean, the benefit for you as a developer is the fact that you're making it easier for customers, both in Nigeria and in diaspora, to view your properties, to pay directly to you. So they're not paying to an agent. The money is going directly to your bank account, and you can track it as well. They can generate statements for each payment that is made. They can generate a transaction receipt for each payment that is made as well. So it's easier for both the customer that wants to buy and the developer as well.
I think you've answered the sub question.
Yeah.
If they can generate receipt
Yes.
for their payment.
They can generate a statement and receipt as well.
All right. The last question here. For customers, can they be notified? Can they get notifications on their phone when we have new listings or when we have property that is sold out?
Yeah, so we have a feature section for each property. If you upload for each new property you upload, there's a feature section on the app that would display the featured properties. We also have push notifications in the app. So once you upload a new property, the customers will be notified that a new property has been uploaded.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sholak Mibada. My only question is, how do you intend to link the mortgage bank with the developer so as to be able to access mortgage through this app? There should be a link. If you have the mortgage app separate from and the developer's app is separate, there should be something linking us as developers to the mortgage banks for our customers to be able to access mortgage.
Okay, so for the mortgage banks, their application is currently being listed with properties of the developers. And on the developers app, for customers that can't buy outrightly or can't buy with the installment plan of maybe 12 months or 18 months, we can include a feature to buy via a mortgage. What it would mean is that the property developer would have to specify the mortgage bank they want to partner with. Once they specify that, it's just to add an additional feature where the buyer can select buy with a mortgage on the developer's app. So currently on the developer's app, we have either outright purchase or installment plans, which is I think a max of 36 months, depending on what the developer sets. But if the developer decides to partner with a mortgage bank, we can include that feature of buying with a mortgage. So that would bring everything together. But currently on the mortgage application, there's already a link with the developer's properties.
Good morning, everyone. 3 questions. First is, I noticed when you were talking about the property section, you talked about being able to lock down a property. And first question that came was, how long can I lock down a property? But much more larger frame is how long, how can I control that as an organization myself? Can I control how long? How long? And can I control how long? So how much features can I control? Sorry, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Olatoyo Milabu. I represent ITMB. Then the second one is the part where a property developer can sign up, can profile himself, or the company can profile themselves. Who verifies? What criteria do you use? Because in this country, you just find out that everybody can claim to be who they are not. Then the third one, which is the one that is most important to me, and I believe that you can help us elaborate on. If I exist as an institution and I already have my own platform, my mobile app, my internet banking, what is your plan for people who are not ready to take up the entire iVantage package as you've mentioned it? And all they want is, I want people to be able to search from your site, link to my app, and we continue from there. What is your plan for, I want the developer, they can all be on your own end. How do I contact, how do we relate with them electronically and we can do business? what is in it, what will be in it for you, what will be in it for me? Is there a pricing structure available already, or you are still working on it? So I think in those three.
Okay, I'll start with your last question. So for mortgage banks that have existing applications already, they can choose which of the modules that they want to subscribe to. So if your mortgage bank, for example, already has a mobile banking app, you can choose to subscribe to the property section, the property module. We can make that available to you via APIs. So you can just plug in to the property section. We would also have to design the interface because you currently don't have an interface for a property section and for the database. So we can put that as an add-on on your existing mobile banking application. So each module on the mobile banking app can be available in isolation. Also, the investment section for your fixed deposits, if you don't currently have one on your application, that can also be made available via APIs. Can you repeat the first question, please? Okay, so the lockdown feature, that is obviously subject to availability of the property. And no developer is going to wait until a borrower has their money complete. But mostly the lockdown feature is for off-plan properties. So if a property is complete already, you have a limited time to lock it down because anyone can buy it. But with off-plan properties that are not completed yet, you still have a bit of time up until the property is fully subscribed. So it's subject to those terms of avail. Come again, who controls? It's based on when the property is available. So at the points where the user subscribes or opts to lockdown, you're basically signifying your interest in wanting to pay. Depending on what the developer's policy is. So there can be the developer can ask for an initial deposit of 10%. So when you make the initial deposit of 10% and then the other milestone payments, if you can commit to that, then yes, you can lock down the property. But if you can't meet those commitments of the initial deposit and the other installment payments that need to be made to secure the property, then the buyer would lose out. Okay, I'll let my colleague add to that.
Okay. Regarding the lockdown aspect, what we intend to do is a session whereby an end user or a prospect sees that particular property and he locks it down. It means I've indicated interest in the property. So immediately you lock it down, the sales rep from that property development company will see your details and start following you up. So once you are not able to maybe make your initial deposit, you're dropped. So it's not like something they are going to lock down forever. The lockdown aspect means, you've indicated interest. Then yes, just like we said, provisional offer. So from there, if you are not able to meet the requirements, the payment requirements, you'll be dropped and that space will be left open. Just like they do in flights when you lock down your flights. Thank you.
Okay, the final question is on our due diligence. Yes, you want to know what we'll be doing in terms of selling our developers app so that we don't sell to people that are fictitious developers, so to say. So for us, we'll do minimum due diligence requirements. We're aware of the SCUMO requirements. First, developers are meant to register with SCUMO, and we know that it takes time to do that. There's a lot of verification that goes into it. So that's initially is our first landing. We have to make sure you have done that. Yes, we'll take your BVN, we'll take your ID card, your company has to be registered. We'll do the CAC search, we'll do everything that we need to do, the minimum requirements to check that you really are a company in business and you've been in business for a minimum of 6 months to 12 months. We'll also do our own My Bank Statement reviews. We'll be doing all of that for people that approach us to buy the developers app. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. Good morning, everyone. My name is Chisom Olisemeka. I'm VP Sales and Marketing at Small Tech. So I was just going to ask, iVantage, I see it's more like a marketplace where you have like a tripartite relationship. So this is the mortgage banks, the developers, and prospective buyers. So the question I was going to ask is, what sort of effort are you putting into marketing the solutions it is that we're talking about here to the prospective buyers? Because more often than not, and I'm sorry to just say it, I think maybe it's a Nigerian thing, but a situation where people come to you with solutions like this, and at the end of the day, by the time we are trying to get to the end users, we then find out that there's no end user at all. I mean, you have a wonderful solution, that will work, but at the end of the day, you have people that come to you, they say, oh, we have a waiting list of people who are going to use this service and all of that. So my question is, I mean, what sort of efforts in terms of marketing, have you put in place to be able to reach the end users, who are looking? I mean, I'm talking about people who don't have all of the money to buy, property, people who are looking to start with their first property portfolio, So, what sort of effort have you put in place, to be able to reach these people, other than the mortgage banks and the developers? Because I mean, developer is there; he's looking for somebody who's going to take off his unit. That's for him. He just wants to sell and move on to the next thing. So, what sort of effort, are you putting in, or what have you done in order to be able to reach the people who actually need to, get these things off the developers?
All right, thank you for that question. So I'll take a first part of the question, and then my colleague would complete it. So we have a team that we've set up for each of the mortgage banks that we've partnered with. We have a post-implementation team that work hand in hand with them to making sure that the existing users and new users are onboarded on the application and actually use the application. It requires, there are different types of drives you can use to approach it. One of which is incentivizing their customers as well to download the application, first of all, to even get in front of the interface. But what we can say is we've set up a team that is dedicated to the post-implementation of the application for the mortgage customers and the developers as well, to make sure that their existing audience and customers are onboarded on application and use it. Lillian, I'll let my colleague add to that as well.
Okay, on the aspect of ensuring that your properties leave the shelf, right? We currently, you can also see from the website, we have a couple of, let me put it this way. If you check in our midst here, we actually went out of our way to invite people that in close proximity or work closely with people in diaspora. So there are some people representing NIDCOM here. We have someone from Solid Properties, Global Properties here. She works directly in contact with people in diaspora. So we have them here for a reason, so that they can also assist to push your properties off the market. So that's just one aspect of it. And that's what the fact that we chose this period to launch our products is for a reason. Christmas period, a lot of people flocks in. The diaspora community, they come in and most of them, they come in to buy properties. Basically real estate, truth be told. So that's why we specifically chose this period or to launch this product. And if you come on board with us, you'll find out that we have a wider reach in the diaspora community. Then aside that, we have some other, we don't need to say it right now, we have some other mechanisms we've already put in place to ensure that your properties are always in the forefront, always in the face of people that can afford it. And don't forget, we work closely with mortgage banks that already have a database. And you as a developer, you have your property on or you are using our app, and in conjunction with the mortgage banks, partnering with them, automatically their clientele becomes yours. So eventually, it is much better than where you are right now if you intend to come on board with us. You understand? So it's not like business as usual anymore. Thank you.
Okay, good morning. My name is Tayo Akinagi. I have 2 or 3 questions. Number one is on the investment part. An omission, is there pricing that is attached to that particular, if I'm investing. And so if I'm doing, I'm seeing that you mentioned the fixed deposit and it has a tenor, but the pricing is not mentioned. Then how do I get to the point of know what I'm investing and what is attached to the pricing? That's the first question. The second one is on the property section, talks about the new update around PENCOM coming, that we can take 25% of our contribution. And I think that should have been a kind of theme that should be on this particular platform, looking at what we have contributed and the kind of what employee wants to hear now is that how do I use that to link the mortgage and link the developer? That was missing. Then the last question is the requirement that will allow the developer and the mortgage to be on this platform. I'm not too comfortable with there must be a clear requirement to prevent fraudsters coming on this platform and taking my money. And I'm coming on the platform because I have confidence on the platform. So once we record those kind of somebody taking my money, then there's a problem with the platform. So we must tight that end very well when you are screaming people to come in, both from the mortgage end and from the developer. So I just want you to address that. Thank you.
Okay, I'll start with the last question. I forgot to mention when I was addressing it. I said you have to have been in business for 6 to 12 months. That's not the minimum requirement. You have to have had successful projects. We must see that you have done it before and you have done it successfully. That's an indication that you really are a property developer, apart from registering with SCUMO. And yes, we will continue to improve on the control measures not to prevent onboarding, selling the solution to a fictitious developer. We'll continue to research and do more to prevent that. Then your other question about PENCOM, we'll take that as a feedback. However, the only reason we haven't put it there is because there's no standard. The 25% that everybody has access to varies. It varies on your pension contribution, and the mortgage banks themselves need to have been verified by PENCOM. It's not open for every mortgage bank. So we haven't included it there because there are differences. And then the value of properties also vary. So there's no standard amounts. But it's something we're willing to add on based on the features you have requested for as somebody buying the solutions from us. And then for the rates on the investment model, on the fixed deposit model, the rates was there, we forgot to mention. At the point where you're investing, based on what you have in-house, you would have set the rules in-house. The rates available to people investing in fixed deposits is dependent on the tenor, the amount you're investing, and all of those things. So it's not preset. It will depend on what the investor has entered, but you will set the criteria back end. That is why you didn't see anything there. There's no preset rate. Thank you.
Sorry, just to add to that, the last point. So the mortgage banks will set the rates for the fixed deposits. So the investment module on the mobile banking app for mortgage banks, they are the ones that will set the interest rate that would apply to the fixed deposits based on what they're offering to their customers. Is that clear? All right, thank you. Do we have any more questions?
Yes, please. Good morning, everybody. My name is Edith Otegbeye. I'm representing Arkland Properties. There's a question that someone had asked, but it wasn't very clear. The response was not very clear, so I would like to throw more light on. Maybe you can clarify. So it was talking about the lockdown period. So if As a developer, my offer letter has 7 days. Within 7 days of giving you my offer letter, you must have either made a reservation deposit or made a commitment deposit. Can the app be time bound? Can I put my 7 days on the app to say, if you don't make any reservation within this period, then the unit automatically goes back to the market? Because if I have, say, 20 units on the app and you reserved one, it means in my data back end, I have 19 left. So is it possible for the app to make that provision so that within my 7 days, I can put that unit back on the market if that client does not make payment? You might want to address that. Then secondly, is there provision for allocation? So when you make your reservations and then payment is made, usually we allocate you. Allocation process is usually very transparent. So on the app, is there provision for an allocation process? Then thirdly, for the agents, is it possible to have agents login? Is it possible to have agents login? Because there's a difference between referring a client to come purchase, and an agent purchasing directly, bringing a client directly. Okay. So, like for us, our modus operandi is we run a model where a client can refer and earn. And what you get from refer and earn is totally different from what an agent would get when they bring a client. So can the app make provision for that? I don't know if you get my question correctly. So the difference between an agent coming on the app to bring a client and refer and earn model, I think there are two different things entirely. We run a model where a client can refer, existing clients can refer and earn something, a bonus, referral bonus. Is different from when an agent brings a client, he earns a percentage, a commission. So if an agent can log in and then when they have their clients, we can see the data there and we see that this client is coming directly from an agent, that might be a good add-on. Then my last question is on currency. I could only see Naira. So for companies that sell, maybe possibly they are in the FZE zone and they sell in other currencies, is it possible for customers to be able to make payments in other currencies? Those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll start with the last question. Like we said, the app can be fully customized to your needs. So if you want to report in a different currency, we can do that. If you also want a portal that allows your agents to log in as well from the back end, that can be added as an additional feature for your deployment. The second question. Oh yes. So the question about your lockdown period, if the buyer doesn't meet the terms of your, so you asked if we can add the 7-day policy. Yes. So all of that can be set. We have an admin portal where you can set all those rules that would apply to each property. So there would also be for that, yes, to add to that, there will also be, there's a feature where the customer can, so in the event that the customer doesn't meet that rule, they can then request for a refund for the initial deposit that they had made. So yes, we can add that as well. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. I think that will be. Yes, we'll come back to more questions. I promise you, we'll come back to more questions. Your Excellency is very distinguished guests. We have a long list of our guest here. We'd like to recognize him, but not now. I'd like to welcome Mr. Ayo Olowo Kere. Please put your hands together for my guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Sorry, we don't want to waste our times. Our plan is to end this program by 12, but unfortunately, also we know the problems with Lagos traffic, and a lot of our invited guests just in. So we'd like to recognize the presence of some of our clients. I am a director with High Vantage. I'm also the MD of Imperial Homes. And the whole idea of High Vantage is to see the synergy between technology, the primary mortgage banks, and the development sector. You know, most times we see things happening in the reverse, and the reverse means smart kids on the block, technology people, they develop a product, and then they come to hire people in the mortgage banks and say, we've developed this product, come and be the COO or the chief risk manager or the business development manager. But we thought that the best thing for the market is those of us that understand the market better, we can actually work hand in hand with technology people to develop products that address the real issues. So the real estate sector, the mortgage banking sector is now taking the lead and now working with technology people that made the presentation. And they try to answer as much as possible. Because as a real estate and mortgage banking person, I will tell you, I cannot configure in any currency than Naira. Because anything aside that is what? Illegal, Abi? CBN is, but you know, technology people will tell you anything can be done. So we take it like that. So I would like to recognize once again the Royal Majesty, Obade Ogunwusi, the Onyofe Kabiyesi. We recognize you once again. Thank you for always supporting us. We have some of our directors on ground. We have Admiral Fola Macaulay, the chairman of Hago Group. You're welcome, sir. And one of the investors in High Vantage. We have Mr. Ikena Nwizu, director with Imperial Home. Mr. Dolapo Ajayi, director with Imperial Home. You're welcome, sir. We have Mrs. Evelyn. She's a giant in the market. Very simple. She's the CEO of Ackland Group. You're welcome. And I have Ridgewell himself sitting well here. Thank you very much in the face cap. Ridgewell Construction. Yeah, I always to cover his face so that people will not see him. And I have Netcom Hawks, the CEO, executive chairman, our partner in progress. You're welcome, sir, for coming. Mr. Kennedy Okonkwo. We've recognized Otumba Olumide Oshunshino, one of our partners as well. We have the MD of Jubilee Mortgage Bank here. Thank you very much for coming, sir. I've taken, I have Dr. Dorio Koje, Executive Chairman of DAF Homes. You're welcome. He's from Edo State. You know, Edo State, they will tell you I don't know the Lagos. You're welcome, sir. Thank you for coming. He's also a director with Imperial Homes. Thank you for the support. So, because of the time that has gone, it is 12 o'clock, and we know we all want to do things for today. That's why we decided to start this early. We would like to have a session before Idowu comes. Idowu Kuti will come and tell us. Imperial Homes happen to be an early adopter of innovation and technology. We realize that we cannot spend our money to build all these solutions. They take a lot of money and time. That is good to partner, to look for a company that can do it, and then let the whole industry share in these spoils. You know, it takes a lot of money to build this, and much more money to continue to maintain. You know, they call it support and maintenance. And you know how hard it is to keep technology resources in-house. Those of us that have IT department, you know what has happened recently. So we just thought that we were an early adopter, and we have implemented this, and we've seen it happen. And there's some other mortgage banks that are implemented and some other developers. So you're always going to take us through that. But before then, we want to have an engagement session for 5 or 10 minutes. I have some real estate stakeholders here for a minute or two. Just want to share their view because there's an expectation from the sector. It is different from what you are building for the sector. Does this meet the expectation of the sector? Do I have a mic there? That's for, yes. Yeah. Does this meet the expectation of the sector broadly? And what other things does the sector, that's the development sector, the real estate development sector, okay, the real estate development sector and the mortgage banking sector, does it meet your expectation? And what are the other things that we would like to see? I will take Mr. Kende Ogundemu, the managing director of NMRC. You know, is very humble. He's the one that found all mortgage banks. So when you see all of us wear suits and commercial banks, if you see all of us wear suits, NMRC is the one that give us long-term funding. Yes, I will take your bid, sir. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Kabiesio. I think this has been a wonderful presentation. I like what I have seen. It's like we have been developing something in-house as well. I'm sure one of my directors can testify to that. But I think this has even gone further than that. We have been trying to do something end-to-end in the marketplace. So I think it's a good development in the right direction. Anything that enhances customers' experience is always welcome, you know. How do we get to them? How do we get to them faster? How do we make it easier for them, you know? And this is now enhancing the experience of customers across the value chain, the bankers, the developers, and everyone in that line. I think it's a very good development. There was a question somebody had asked, you know, and I just wanted to respond to it or add to that. We were at the forefront of the 25% equity from your RSA. So you had asked that you wanted to see it there. The RSA will only go towards your down payment. So I will say it's already in there. Maybe they just now need to be specific and say, okay, your down payment is broken down into 2. And then you show the 25% RSA. But it's already something that's already addressed, you know, but I think for clarity, they might decide to show that. So I'll say for us, because I'm sitting on the demand side, as long as the mortgage bankers are happy with this app, I think we're happy. So I'll say nothing more from my end to add to what I've seen so far. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I will take the Executive Secretary of UMBAN. We'll call him the doyen of mortgage banking. You know, they will tell us the history of mortgage banking 30 years ago and the evolution. And so when we talk about the 25% usage, you know, the people that really start the push, maybe when we're still studying primary school, secondary school. And then, you know, it's an engagement thing and it's tiring, but it's here, Mr. Akaido Motosho. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ayo. His Royal Highness, eminent gentlemen and ladies that are here, Ayo, thank you for the accolade, but I hope I won't fall down from the accolade. Seriously, I will be emotional about it, and please just forgive me. I'm sure that in this room, all the generations are represented except Generation A. And if Generation A is not represented, it means the Generation Z and the Y are representing them. Meaning that a good number of those that are here read, this is our chance. So it says, this is definitely our chance. We are here to celebrate the emergence of mortgage banking in its quest to satisfy Nigerians, especially those that want to own homes through mortgage and rent to own finance. We've also been making efforts to do a sort of interface between the housing supply investors, mega monde of this world, the revolution of this world, and the demand investors, the mortgage banks. And this is a very good app that is bringing the two core investments outlets in housing together, because it is very critical that the two must interface so that the end users that are Nigerians can gain the ambience of what we have all been doing all these years. If you ask any Nigerian, I will tell you there is no mortgage. The developers, they are doing this. Whereas it is the information and knowledge that are available to us that will make us realize that things that happened. We used to be a pig. Nobody was hearing anything about everybody. But now, we are very much on the information wavelength. So we want to appreciate the efforts of the investors in this advantage. And like I have mentioned, it is good for us to take the bull by the horn before the IT people would have taken everything out of us. So for us in the mortgage banking subsector, we are glad we will see how to make the best of this very unique initiative, because it is in the best interest of all of us. So we are very glad to be here, and we appreciate everybody that is here. Kabisi, thank you for being here. Yeah. I'm sure that has had the royal influence into it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ayo, and all of you. Congratulations to the all investors.
Yeah, thank you very much. I will take Mr. Gary Sanusi, Dillon, consultant. He's also a big player in the development sector. But while you pass the mic to him, you know, while I was MD of Imperial, a fintech approached me to employ me, and they know I'm MD of a mortgage bank. That's how audacious. And they are young people. They called me Egbon. You know, we sat down. Yeah, they invited me for interview. I came with my SUV. No, nothing bothers them, and that speaks to the size of the dream and the courage the young people they have. And you know, mortgage banks are deposit money banks. Deposit, that means we can take deposits just like commercial banks, and much more than merchant banks. If you look at the definition, it was a discussion we had with CBN, and the CBN said you are deposit money banks. And in the arrangement, after commercial banks in deposits, yeah, it is you. But we've not taken hold of that responsibility, because young guys will build very beautiful user-friendly interfaces. They will onboard 4 or 5 million. These guys showed me the plan. You know, we did 4 million customers last year, new customers, and we have over 30 billion deposits. And I don't think any mortgage bank has 30 billion deposits. And you have a license and they don't have a license. So I just saw that the difference is the size of the dream. And they gave me a role. They wrote me an offer. You know, they were calculating, and they don't mind how much do you earn. And then what do you want us to put? You know, what do you want? And yeah, these are young guys. So we just need to dream in this sector. We know the developers have dreamt. They became developers and they became banks because they do installment payment. That's your banking. Mr. Gary, oh, you don't want to talk.
I spoke to Mr. Gary. He said he's comfortable, he's okay, he's not adding anything. The only thing he wants to add is to add to my balance. So I think we are
okay. Okay, we add to your balance. Yeah, I would take Mr. Kennedy Okoko. Then after that, I would take Mrs. Akinleye from Gateway, and then I will come to the royal table.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ayo, for your very beautiful presentation. My name is Kennedy Okonkwo once more. We've had this gap in the market, and what worries everybody so much is developers are trying to do their bits, constructing as much as they can, as much as their finances can carry them, you know, but it's a tough one. So one of the areas that I worry the most about is the processing time for mortgage applications in our part of the world is very, very longer than normal. So we always find out that from the point when somebody makes a deposit, it's always a tall dream for the developer to keep the property available
for that period.
the subscriber over a long period, because every day you're calling the mortgage bank, the money is not ready, the money is not ready, the money is not ready. So at the end of the day, inflation is running the way it's running. By the time you come back, the developer is telling you that, well, we can't give you this property
at the
anymore.
price.
So to the client, the developer is the bad man. But he forgets that it is what it is. The prices of commodities, construction materials are no longer the same. So we're struggling with that. But then what we expect that, with the mortgage bank, with the role of fintech, is not anybody's fault that you don't have the funds. If federal government doesn't have it, the deposit money banks don't have it, the mortgage banks, do they really have it? That's a question, because like you rightly said, a fintech will tell you they have 30 billion in deposits. How many mortgage banks carry that amount of money to be able to fund? You find out that developers are playing that role, but to what extent? So I understand what your application is trying to do, to bring a synergy, user-friendly interface, bring a convergence of the different mortgage banks that you have and the developers, everybody working together. But then we also need to remember that it is to the extent that also the mortgage banks are also straightforward in what they are saying that they can do. Because I always like the mortgage banks to say, Oga, this money, you only get it in 60 days. Hold it the way it is. If you can hold on for us in 60 days, fine, you get it. So a lot has to do with the mortgage banks doing what they say, that, saying what they can actually do, than leading the clients on, and the clients are made to part with their money. And at the end of the day, the developer seems like as if they are the devil. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Kenny Black is our client.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he took a mortgage. And,
sir,
at the time he called me, he thought, are you sure this thing exists? And I was like, if this guy start using us to crack jokes at all the big events, I'm coming, sir.
That's how God crack jokes, but I cannot even crack jokes here. I'm not funny.
So you have repayment, so you can't crack joke anyhow with me.
I'm not even a
Yeah, I know.
I'm not even a comedian, I'm a clown. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'll take Mrs. Akinleya, I will take the MD of Jubilee.
Yes,
then I'll come to this table, and I have my very good brother, the small technologies man. They rent small, because there's another side to this discussion that he sees. So I have a few minutes to just take that. So Ronke.
Please go on.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I think this is a very laudable project. I think we should just give a round of applause for the team that did this. Yes, a lot has happened in the industry, and I think this is the solution that we all need. Like Chief Kennedy said, the mortgage banks, they always have, they don't meet up with the terms of the agreement. But I think with this solution, a lot of things will have been done upfront. The developer, the mortgage bank, they will have done due diligence on the developer that is putting property on board. So a lot of those bottlenecks that we usually have when it's time to now process the mortgage, I think that will solve the problem. So I think this is a good project. And I'm happy the team said they can unbundle the modules. So for mortgage banks that already have their mobile app, internet banking, we can just plug in into maybe the property section of it. So I think this is what we've been waiting for. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. The MD of Jubilee Homes, then I come to this table here.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, just to say that this is a very wonderful thing. I've had a good engagement with Imperial and the members of this team. They've had a one-on-one presentation to us. I want to also suggest, from the engagement we had, the knowledge of and understanding of this product that we have is deeper than what we can deliver here. And I imagine that for someone like Kennedy, Chief Kennedy, and developers who needs to see more of the deeper future and appreciate some of these things, you may need to have one-on-one engagement with them. And in doing that, if you need to bring the MD of NMRC and some of the key stakeholders to tell them to let them appreciate the volume of deposit and capacity of the industry, it may be necessary. There is this concern that the industry, the mortgage industry doesn't have capacity. The reality is that the capacity is being understated. They look at us and see, for the bank I run, I can assure you, our capacity is much. But even the smaller ones among us, they have the backing of NMRC, which gives us the leverage to do a lot, which the developers don't know. And until we communicate that information, we get them to know, they will not know. It behoves on us to have an organic structure of getting this information across and assuring them that we can do what they want us to do. And only we get that one done, we'll probably be happy this challenge. That's the suggestion I want to make.
Thank you very much. Oga Kennedy, so I'll come to this table, Otumba Oshushino. Yeah, so Oga Kennedy thinks that we don't have money.
Things that we don't have money. I told him, but you know.
But I disbursed Kenny Black, and Kenny Black property from you. So, when I say, sir, when I say NMRC is backing us, and disclosure, I'm very sorry, so that they will not waylay Mr. Ogundimu. Imperial has, 10 billion refinancing line, and we have drawn less than 500 million. So mortgage banks have a lot of challenges that made them not to draw. One, do you have a pipeline of transaction for refinancing? 15 years refinancing. Number two is also that they are uniform underwriting standards. The developer and the property, do they have the and the buyer, do they have the requirement for you to be able to refinance? So we hope that this will be able to solve a lot of issues around the property. But like the MD of Jubilee said, people understand the capacity of the mortgage sector. Maybe we need to blow up trumpet more. Otumba.
I was about to leave, actually. Thank you. Well, I would say congratulations on this. This is a very good app. But I will talk from the point of view of a developer. My name is Olumide Oshishina. I'm the MD of Megamod Investment. We're developers of, we did Nikon Town, Carlton Gate. Of course, it's not, a few of our developments. But bottom line, you see, for me, the way I approach a mortgage bank, it's actually about your capacity. Because I like the story, all the technicalities and all or not, but the bottom line is, how does this app affect your ability to basically serve us? When I mean serve us, what I essentially need from a mortgage firm is actually money, you understand? So, the ease of doing things, the way customers approach us and things like that, the way we serve our customers, to an extent, we've gotten that right on our own. Helping out is good. Bringing up an app that also help us to do it better is also good. But bottom line for me, and why I'm here, is the fact that I want to see how much money, how does this increase your capacity to serve us better? The point is that the limiting factor we have in our industry is actually finance. Finance to develop the projects, and finance for our buyers to actually buy the product. Those are the very, very, all this technical jargon does not bother me in any way. I'm not interested in them. That is for you to care about. What I care about is what actually drives the industry. Money, 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 money. How does this app affect your bottom line to increase your capacity to actually give us that service? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before KBAC talks, I would like Mban Secretary said he has 1 minute. Then I will take Karen small. Then KBAC will close us on this stakeholders engagement.
Before you, just 1 second. We didn't want to talk much because this is not the time to be talking, but let's talk concrete. We are past the era of deposit driving mortgage. Today, we're in the capital market driving mortgage. The pension funds in Nigeria today is over 14 trillion. Our subsector is entitled to at least 30%. We haven't scratched up to 1% because of this thing that we are seeing today. Technology is the one that we have a lot of issues with title and title transfer. It's a bottleneck that most Nigerians don't know affects mortgage. But with this kind of app, that you can find a way that the properties there have already been cleared.
Qualified.
It means a mortgage bank, a developer, a Nigerian, you can then access the mortgage as well as the property. So there is no problem with funding in Nigeria, as well as funding mortgage in Nigeria. What we had as problems are institutional and which we have tried to solve. We can assure you we don't have problems. Once all of us have cleared the various hurdles that we need to clear as developers, mortgage banks, and Nigerians, you have that assurance. Thank you.
So yeah, I will take my brother here before KBC closes off. You know, one experience is that more than 40% of mortgage transactions are stopped because of rectification. You know, that thing they call rectification, more than 40% of mortgage transactions. So that's how, when you say institutional, and we've tried to find ways to cross the issue, and that is different from title. It's just chatting issue. Because without getting it right, we can't write a mortgage. So I'll take you.
Thank you, Mr. Ayo, for having me today. And I've heard so much around what this is about, and I think it's a beautiful idea. I think it's something that will solve a lot of problems. And I also believe that, I mean, there are so many other players. I'm the CEO of Small Technology, so we play heavily in the tech space. And our first product, which a lot of people are familiar with, is Rent Small. So we have other products that we've also had to launch just because we wanted to have a wider reach. And that is also understanding, seeing the problem that exists in the housing market in Nigeria. So sitting on a very huge data, when we started Rent Small, for the first 3-4 years that we started Rent Small, we realized that one of the primary problems was ownership. You know, there's so much demand in the rental market, but you don't have enough supply, especially for homes that are meeting the demand of the current generation, which are compact spaces, 1 bed, 2 beds, to 3 beds, right? So what we then needed to do was to really take our data and say, what can we do differently to help deliver these homes, to work with developers so that this can be done. But we realized that even we started engaging mortgage banks. So Dr. Femi Johnson is here. That if I was in Canada a few months ago and I went to a meeting while I was there and just kind of tell him this is what we're trying to do. How can we do it together? Because we see that there are more people that want to own homes, but there are challenges that they are having when it comes to home ownership. We know that not so many people can buy homes outrightly. So if we are going to increase the penetration in terms of home ownership rate, then mortgage has to sit on the backbone of mortgage. What are the problems that most people see with mortgages? I think Dr. Kennedy mentioned that, in terms of funding, that do mortgage banks in Nigeria, do they have the capacity to provide, to service the crowd or the masses, right? I still have that question also because in the short time that we launched Buy Small, which is another product that we put into the market, 2 things has happened. One, we started buying properties ourselves. We've done transactions in billions, having to acquire properties ourselves in order to be able to serve people that want to buy some of these rental properties and be able to put it in the rental market and start earning rental income. And the advantage we had by going that route was we were able to control price because we approached developers. What are you building? You are building 100 units, would acquire the 100 units. We'll negotiate the price and all of that. But that is barely scratching the surface when it comes to the market pool, the demand in the market. So it still boils down to how can we get mortgage to work in Nigeria? And the 2 things really is the cost. The funding, does the mortgage market in Nigeria or the mortgage space in Nigeria, do they have enough fund to be able to provide mortgages to Nigeria? And then the second thing is the cost. So when I met Dr. Femi, the conversation started about a year ago where we agreed at a certain rate. We took it to our customers that wanted to do, the buy-to-let scheme that will buy and then we put it under rent small, and with the guaranteed rent that we are providing, they can service on their mortgage. But see what has happened with the MPL going up, every other month, where these same customers, they are telling us that, they can't do mortgage at this rate anymore because it's too high. Dr. Flem is here. I've had to call you how many times to say, almost pleading with him that we have this waiting list of people. They've subscribed, they want to take mortgage, but the rate has jumped from this certain amount to this new amount, and because a lot of them, they are dropping. And we focus on young professionals, people in their early 30s, early 40s, right? So what can we do about, I think if we can have enough funding for the mortgage and Pencom, that is good. But if you can pull all the pipelines where the mortgage banks are really resourceful, they have enough cash to be able to provide mortgages, I think it will go a long way to curb cost of funding as well, or to curb costs generally. That's my own take, and I would love to hear what you think around that. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I will take that take. So I will let Kavi see to yeah. So before it goes to KBC, please let the MD the MD of NMRC, then KBC will close out.
So with due respect, you understand what Dr. Konko said about funding, and I want to state it very clearly here. We might have issues with pricing. We don't have issues with funding. So if the mortgagors are able to take the rates, there's funding unlimited. As the CEO of MBAN said, every bond that we have issued at NMRC have been oversubscribed by at least 300%. And as soon as we come, the pension funds are there waiting for us. So it's not a question of money, but how do we make the pricing work for everybody? Because number one, you're looking at the pensioners who are there, some of them have retired, or those who are going to retire, they're contributing to their RSA. They don't want to be paid anything less than inflation rate. You understand, which affects the pricing. Because I cannot say I want to give you a house and I'm getting poorer. So I have to get something that is real rate of return that is higher than the inflation rate. So we now have to go back. So how do we factor that pricing into the prices of the houses? Do developers now have to give something to subsidize that and all of that? I think that's where the work needs to be done now, where we all need to sit down and say, how do we adjust this pricing to get something that works for everybody? But it is not a question of whether the banks have capacity, mortgage banks, they have unlimited capacity with us at NMRC, but we have not struck the right balance on pricing. I think that's what the discussion should be. Not that they don't have money, there's money. Thank you.
We are going to have a stakeholder session to properly discuss this. And then I think after the program, we have something outside, then we can also interact while we take our leave. So we still have enough time to meet up with the stakeholders we have here and discuss further. Kabir, so you have the floor, sir.
Well, I don't know what you want me to say, whether I should pray or, well, I will say something. I greet you all here this morning, especially the management team of Imperial Mortgage Bank for this great initiative. And on this note, I want to use this opportunity to show appreciation to the MD, the person by the driver's seat of the bank, for turning around the prospect of the bank and being supported by all the board members. I think Ayo deserves a better round of applause than this. Where is he? Where is Ayo? Please come forward. Please clap for him very well. Please still clap more, clap more, clap more, clap more, clap more. Clap more, clap more, clap more, clap more, clap more, clap more. Well, I've been looking for a great opportunity like this to appreciate your relentless effort in trying to turn around the bank. To the glory of God, I actually left this industry very abruptly. I never planned. I was so engrossed in the industry that I had very big dream. I actually dreamt at some point that someday it's either we'll pull down the entire Lagos and rebuild it, or we'll go to another place and build another city. And I'm very happy I can see a lot of icons in this small gathering. If I start to mention names, time will also not permit me to do that. But really and truly, for me, just to show appreciation, for me, for the last 25 years of my life, there has never been a day that I will not lift a block. Never. Even when I got to the throne, it has actually become a very strong hobby for me. And over the last 28 years of the industry, I was very fortunate to start very early. And Mr. Olumide just left. We've known each other for many years. We're talking about how the whole history of Northern Foreshore began, one of the biggest private estates in Nigeria till date. And Dory here has been a very good friend of mine for a long time. How he will buy land so cheaply and go and sell it with a very wide margin. And he's made so much money now. He has so much money more than me. So for me, and so many people in the room here, look at, I have another boss here, Gary here, Kennedy here, all of them, the money is just too much. I don't know whether they will start to put that money on the table now. So for me, my suggestion is very simple. What the MD of NMRC said and the president, the CEO of Mban, you've been in this industry for a very long time. But it's about time for each and everybody to start addressing price. That pricing has been the mainstay, the main issue for people to have access to mortgage. So why can't everybody, all the stakeholders in mortgage industry, start to do their crowdfunding, raise the money? You don't need to go and raise money from pension funds that the cost of funding is pretty linked to inflation. Why can't you start your own ecosystem? Create that ecosystem within the confines of the industry players. Somebody should take that lead and do it. I know Dr. Johnson is here. We've come a long way with great ideas, great initiatives. Many years, over the last 10 years, we've been working together. And to me, that can actually bring down the pricing, that the issue that you are all talking about. Yeah, you can set up this software, iVantage. You can do all sorts of so many beautiful software to drive your initiative. But what is critical is that pricing thing. And I'm happy NMRC MD said the same thing. A gentleman asked that same question at the back. But create your ecosystem within the confines of the industry. I believe if you tell Dory now to drop money, if you tell Kennedy to drop money, if you tell Gary to drop money, if you tell a lot of developers here to drop money and just drop it and give them some advantages, some cushion effect, to drop even those kind of money at near zero cost of capital, that will help the industry to thrive better. What is important is work towards how to create your ecosystem. So maybe this platform, maybe this software can actually resolve that problem. But if you don't resolve that problem, you continue to say you want to raise bond through NMRC, you go to the same capital market where everybody's raising money that is expensive. You go to the same market, you go to stock exchange, you go to all sorts of where you can raise money. There's always that cost that is linked to inflation attached to it. We'll continue. The market is so huge that I see people. I left the industry just 7 years ago. I have seen a lot of billionaires now. Many of them, they have so much money. I just open my mouth. I just wonder, what's happening in this industry? Well, maybe I should have waited, or maybe I should have actually turned down this for me to become Oni of Ife. All of them now, they are very big and they are up there. So my point is, somebody should take that lead. Maybe Imperial Homes will take the lead, or maybe you can form a consortium. The way you form that consortium of mortgage warehousing, I don't know whether it's still very active. You know, do something. Raise money that you don't need to go to the capital market. Everybody is raising money from the same source. So for me, on the last note, that's my advice. If you can think about it, you don't need to get back to anybody today. I want to thank all the directors here, especially Admiral Macaulay. It's a great honor to see you again. You're looking fresher and younger. We're all pioneers as pioneer owners of the bank. And the barrister himself, Barrister Ajayi, Nkena, I thank you all. And I thank God Almighty. You have kicked me out of the bank, no problem. I'm not angry, but I'm fine. I'm okay, and I'm happy the bank is up and doing, because you said I had so much overbearing influence on the bank. In fact, I was actually the one championing the whole course of the bank. So don't worry. Now I'm on a clean slate with the bank. The bank is running without me. In fact, running better than me, because at some point Ronke can testify. My main office is within the bank. We were running affairs together, but to the glory of God, I did my best. On this note, I want to thank the entire team again for putting this thing together, and God Almighty will continue to be with you, guide and guard you in all your endeavors, and continue to play that pivotal role you are playing in the industry. God bless you and keep up the good work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kabis. I would like to recognize the representative of Honorable Commissioner for Housing in Lagos State, Mr. Makonjola, and then the Managing Director of Homeworks, Mr. Jide Adekola. Are you still around? Yeah, thank you very much for coming at short notice. Thank you.
Can we please give a round of applause one more time to Mr. Tayo? Mr. Tayo, sir, I'm sure that if the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria was here tonight, I think in his words, what he would tell Advantage will be, I want to assure you that I don't want to be here. I want to say that that's up. It's a work we were here. Advantage a local. I want to assure everyone here that Advantage is as come to stay here. And anybody that tried to stop you, Ajakuya Noje. I'd like to stop there for security reasons. I don't want to hear Kenny Black report to the State House. And by the way, if they are coming to pick me, they are picking everybody because you laughed at the joke. We are here together. Your Excellency is very distinguished guest. And I must say a big thank you to Oga said I cannot use people and crack joke. And it's the truth, sir, because God will not allow us to go back to where we are staying before. Because I just bought the house at Victoria Crest through Imperial Homes, and it goes far. So that's all I can say. It goes far. And KBC, you always say to me, Kenny Black. I remember the last time I saw KBC was last year at this event, and he said, Kenny Black, if you continue to do what you're doing, people will call you. And I'm happy that Mr. Tayo called me, and they said that they need to call people so that they can give them money. So they can give, and if you need entertainers to help you blow your whistle, we are here. Our money is no cost, so that if you give them money, they can also help us. And KBC, thank you so much for the honor. And every time I say KBC, you always give me dollars. So that's why we are. I don't even know why. That's for security reasons. I'll just collect it as transfer so that we can move on to this event. There's somebody here tonight going home courtesy of I've today. No, that's no. Go to first follow me. You don't know what's going on. You don't know about it. And there is somebody going to Dubai on all expense paid trip to Dubai courtesy of this app. On your table, under your table, there is a blue slip. If you can see a blue slip under your table, I don't know what you're looking for. I don't know which Dubai you are going to, but I'm proud to tell you, we are all going to Ibadan by road. Nobody is going anywhere. Dubai call Ogolontoni. So moving on at this point, I'd like to welcome for the presentation. Please help me welcome Mr. Idowu Kuti. A round of applause. Until drop the table, there's nothing there. You're not going to Dubai. What? You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Kenny. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, His Imperial Majesty, I stand on the existing protocol. We really deeply appreciate your presence here today. So the wealth of experience and knowledge in this room is electrifying. You know, we've heard so much about the value that technology is bringing into this space. You know, and then it will not be enough for us to talk about what iVantage can do without also seeing what Imperial has done with iVantage. I am aware that iVantage has onboarded 3 mortgage banks, being Brent's Mortgage Bank, Homebase, and Imperial Homes. But we are proud to be the pioneer of the application in rolling out some of our products. So we decided to launch 4 products using the app. You know, we're going to run through those products shortly. And I would say it has been a dream for us in Imperial Homes. You know, we've always understood that the future is upon us. You know, we've always looked for how we can leverage on technology to make our business better. You know, COVID came and it became like the trigger for us to demystify those myths that existed in the traditional banking industry, to see that the only way to measure the strength of a bank were by their tall buildings, their high rises. However, we saw that banking had evolved, and then your mobile phone can actually be your bank. So we sat down, we looked at what the offerings of iVantages are, and then we are rolling out 4 products today. My tech team will show these products on the screen. And then they say variety is the spice of life. I'm sure the Oni of Ife can attest to that. So we are rolling out our number 1 app, which is the Imperial mobile app, the Imperial Plus, then the iAccess, which is our internet banking platform. The third product is our online accounts opening package. And then the last one is our end-to-end mortgage application system. So we've digitized our processes, and then we're just going to watch these videos. Please sit back and enjoy what we are about to present to you. Thank you very much.
Imperial Plus is a solution that provides customers with mobile banking and investment services with access to property database to make mortgages more accessible. For new customers, click on the sign up button to take you to a page to create your profile where you will fill your details, set password, create a transactional code to enable you complete any transactions. Also make sure to click the button to agree with terms and conditions, then sign up. An OTP code will be sent to your email address. Please fill, and then you've successfully created a profile. To open a savings account, click on the Create Account button and fill in the account opening form. Then click on the Next button to open your KYC documents. Existing customers will also be required to create a profile. Then from their homepage, they can link their existing account by clicking Add Existing Account and entering their account number. To save towards your equity contribution, you can fund your account by selecting the Imperial Plus account, then select Fund Account. You can either fund your account via card or by transfer, enter the amount you want to fund the account with, as well as the description. Then you can select the Auto Save button to choose the frequency of your savings, either daily, weekly, or monthly. You can conduct other mobile banking app services such as transfer to own account, transfer to other Imperial accounts, and transfer to other banks. You can also buy airtime, pay bills, manage beneficiary, view account officer information, request for debit card, and view your transaction history. The investment account allows customers to place funds in fixed deposits at competitive rate. You could book a new investment, add to an existing deal, and complete partial or full liquidation. To view properties, select the Imperial Plus account, click on Browse Properties, and you can filter your search from a list of over 20,000 pre-qualified properties with clean titles and charted reports. Then select the property and view the pictures and property details. To signify interest in the property, select the Log Down button and ensure your account is funded with 10% of the property value. To start a mortgage process, select Buy with Mortgage and fill the mortgage form. To ascertain how much mortgage you can afford, select the affordability calculator and provide information about your income and down payments to display your monthly repayment amount, interest rate, tenor, and available property within your income threshold. The More section allows you to change your transaction PIN and provide information about our customer support. Imperial Plus is here to make banking easier and mortgages more accessible.
Thank you very much. We will just look at the other video now, and then I'll wrap up these parts of the product.
Imperial Homes Mortgage Bank provides a secure way to access your accounts, manage payments, check your statements, and much more 24 hours a day. To get started, you're required to register. And your login credentials will be sent to your email. Follow the prompts to change your default password, set your security questions, and set your online transaction PIN. Registration is complete, and you can successfully log in with your account number and password. Welcome to your dashboard. On My Accounts, you'll view a summary of your various accounts, current accounts, investment accounts, and mortgage accounts. To conduct a transfer, you can choose from transfers to your own accounts, to Imperial accounts, or to other banks. For transfer to other bank, select the account to transfer from. Enter the bank name, account number, amount, and narration. Enter your transaction PIN. To view your bank statements, select the account, date range, and your statement is ready for download. To pay a bill such as airtime purchase, select account, network provider, amount, and mobile number. Enter your transaction PIN and your purchase is successful. For card services, you can request for a debit card, retrieve card PIN, and block your debit card here. You can also perform self-services such as updating customer information, changing transaction PIN, viewing account officer's detail, and lodging a complaint or inquiry using the forms. Corporate customers can also access this application by logging in with their profiled credentials and viewing their account details on their dashboard. Corporate customers can perform bulk transfers by selecting their account to debit and uploading a payment file that is aligned with the template format provided. The uploaded transactions are then reviewed before being submitted for approval by signatory to the account. To conduct transactions via remitter, enter the regenerated remitter retrieval reference number, confirm the transaction, and submit for approval by signatory to the account. To view reports, select from transaction reports, approval reports, remitter reports, and batch status. Imperial Homes allows you bank at your convenience.
So thank you very much. So what like the MD mentioned, there's going to be a break session, and then members of staff will approach you. We'll give you the link whereby you can use to open your account, access your internet banking and do your full banking transaction. So what we've done is to simplify banking for you and bring it to your fingertips. So thank you very much. I believe Imperial Homes deserve a round of applause for this innovation they've brought in the market. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. I think it's been an impactful, engaging, and a beautiful event. That person will get balance. There's nothing you can do. So, and I'm proud to tell you that we have refreshments outside. Like I said earlier on, I have paid for everything. When I mean I mean the Imperial Homes. It doesn't here. So that, and please know that for those of us from the mainland, especially the crew, small chops and memo is not a good match, and the restroom is far. Please know what you are eating when you get to the buffet. It's been a beautiful morning. I think it's afternoon already, and on behalf of Imperial Homes, I want to say big thank you. And I'm not here to close this event. I'd like to respectfully welcome on stage an amiable gentleman, a man that I respect so much, is the MDCT Energy. Please put your hands together for Mr. Ikenna. A round of applause for the closing remarks. Now I go. Yeah, he shock you. Yeah.
It shocked me, true. I wasn't prepared for that. I stand on all existing protocols. Ojaja, Kabiesi, and all distinguished members, customers of the bank, directors, the management, and distinguished guests. I thank you for coming. It's been a wonderful event. When we were clapping for Ayo, I couldn't clap hard enough. He's really done a wonderful job. not just him, but him and the entire Imperial Homes team. We thank him, and I know he couldn't have done it without the support, one way or the other, of everyone here. I thank you for gracing the occasion. I pray that the same way you came, you will also go back in peace. I pray that God will continue to bless the bank and bless all the partners that are here, that in one way or the other, as we put our hands to plow, that we will find prosperity in everything that we do. We pray this app will be a great success, not just to the bank and the people here, but to open up the industry as a whole. I thank you, and I pray for continuous prosperity for everyone here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm proud to say that we all know now that Ivantage Technology is providing enabling solution for the mortgage banks and property sector. And I want to say that they are the odds. And I want to say big thank you to you all for coming out. Today, we hope that when next we call you, you'll come through for us. Refreshment is ready, but at this point, it's going to be table by table. We'll let the Imperial Majesty table go first. So we don't have a rowdy buffet stand. For small tech, you don't have to eat small, eat big so that we can. Yeah. That's my guy. So thank you so much. We're free to take pictures. There's a picture stand over there. I'm sure that most of our stars would take us to the picture stand so we can have a good photograph session. And after the photograph session, we'll go to the buffet stand. I'm Otolori Kehinde Peter, and it is my honor to be hosting this beautiful event. I want to say thank you for taking out time out of your busy schedules to be here. God bless you, and we wish you safe journey back to your various offices and various homes. At this point, it will be pictures and buffet starting from this table. Please do not leave your table until the ushers or our staffs come to you to take it. Thank you so much. God bless you. I think you all deserve a round of applause for staying to this time. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. God bless you. Thank you.